Alright, so I made a small mistake in recording, so I missed the beginning of this, but pretty much you're gonna spawn in over here where all these guys are, right? And you're going to talk to this gentleman. You're going to create your character by customizing them. You can go through your torso, head, and all the options that you want, including coloring your hair and your avatar. After that, he'll give you the access to your sounds, which I have turned off for the sake of this video. After you've talked to him again, you will run out this door and you're going to talk to your first instructor. Alright, now that you're at your first instructor, you're going to go ahead and talk to him. They're going to tell you, "Hello, newcomer. My name is Brianna. My job is to teach you about the skills that you can use to survive in this world. First skills we're going to look at is fishing. There's some shrimp in the pond here. Let's try and catch some." Now, I would like to point out that shrimp don't actually exist in any pond in the world. They are an ocean animal, or an aquatic animal. So this doesn't make any sense, but we're going to do it anyway. So you get yourself a small fishing net and access to your inventory. Now this is going to be a big thing throughout the game, but for now, all you have is your small fishing net, and you're going to want to go ahead and you can either right click in net option, or you can just left click and you'll see a little red X that's going to show you that you're fishing. So we're going to go ahead here and caught our first shrimp. Says you have gained some experience. Now I am actually going to go ahead and catch another one. And the reason for that is the next step you're going to be doing is cooking. And when you cook, you have a chance to burn your food. So I'm going to grab two here. So if I do burn one, you need to successfully cook one to be able to finish this tutorial. So now we are going to go ahead and talk to her. You gain some experience. Now this is your skills tab. All of RuneScape bases around these skills. Everything that you do will interact with one of these skills in one way or another. Now the ones that we're focusing on right now in this tutorial is fishing, right here, and cooking. So I did notice that before that my recorder was not capturing my whole screen. I went ahead and fixed that so you can actually see everything that I'm doing. Just to reiterate what I just did is I talked to the instructor, I came over here and I caught some shrimp. I caught two of them. We went over our skills and how all of these skills interact with these. So I apologize for that, but for the rest of the video, now it will be fixed. So now we're going to go ahead and talk to this survival expert again. Excellent work. Now that you have some shrimp, you're going to want to cook them. To do that, you'll need a fire. This brings us to the wood cutting and fire making skills. So now she's going to go ahead and she's going to give you an axe and a tinderbox. Now, to interact with your items, you can either left click them, which will highlight them, or you can right click them, which is going to show you what it is and the ability to examine it, drop, and use it. So whenever you see that little drop box come down, it's because I'm right clicking. Um, so now we're going to go ahead, we're going to equip this X. Oh, well, never mind. We can't equip the X. We can only use it. So, I lied to you. I apologize. We're going to go ahead and left click this tree. And once we get our first set of logs here, we are just going to left click said logs and use them on the tinderbox. Woohoo! We have fire. Look at that. We're off to a good start. Now, to cook things, and this goes for pretty much anything in RuneScape. You're going to left click it, and then you're going to want to click the fire. Now, I usually use the right click option, and right click use shrimp with fire. That way, you make sure that you're going to click the fire, because if you try and left click a shrimp and then left click the fire, but you accidentally click a person, you try to use it on the person, it says nothing interesting happens, it's just a waste of time. So it's kind of like makes it just a little bit easier. So we're going to cook our second bit of shrimp, which we did cook. Look at that, no burned food. That is awesome. All right, now that we have successfully cooked our first bit of food, we are off. Now, there's these helpful little arrows every single time that you complete something that are going to tell you exactly where you're going. Um, hold on. There you go. I just missed the gate. That's fine. So now we're going on over to this door. And we're going to talk to the cook. You can obviously tell that he's a cook or a chef in this case because he has a little chef's hat on, a little apron, you know. So you talk to him, he says, welcome newcomer, I'm the Master Chef Lev. It is here that I will teach you how to cook food and truly fit for a king. Cook food truly fit for a king. I'm going to say, I already know how to cook. Brianna taught me just now. And he thinks this is hilarious. He says, you call that cooking? Some shrimp on an open log fire? Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, baby, no, what is you doing? I'm going to teach you the fine art of cooking bread. And he gives you some flour and some water. So it's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Again, I've played this game for the last 12 years or something like that, so I know exactly what I'm doing. So in this case, I'm going to use the pot of flour with the water. It's going to give you bread dough, and even tells you you have some dough. So you then are going to use said dough on the range. Once again, I am right clicking so I can get the option on the range and using the bread dough on the range. And you get yourself some bread, not burnt, which is great. Oh, and we gained a cooking level. Look at that. Little bits of experience here and there. These will go up, fast to start, but as you get later into the game, getting levels gets harder and harder. Alright, so we just finished that, and we're off again. So once again, you have the helpful arrows telling you where to go. In this case, it's actually on your map, a little red arrow up here. It just wants you to follow this trail. I, go the fastest route possible. Well, maybe not the fastest route possible because there's people who are super efficient at this game, but I'm not exactly just following this little dirt trail. We're going to go ahead and go into this little house here, and we are going to talk to the quest guide. He's going to say, welcome to adventure. I'm here to tell you about quests. Let's start by opening your quest journal. Now there's going to be this little flashing icon, and it's going to show you all of the quests that are available in RuneScape, including mini quests here at the bottom. Now, as a free-to-play player, which means that you do not pay a single cent for this game, these top ones, right up to X marks the spots, are the only X marks the spot is the only one that you can do. So obviously that's not prevalent information right this moment, but it's going to be important later. So after you've opened the quest list, you're going to go back and talk to the quest guide. So now that you have the journal open, I'll tell you a bit about it. At the moment, all of the quests are shown in red, which means that you have not started them yet. That's important. When you start a quest, it will change color to yellow. Once you have finished it, it will change to green. This is so you can easily see what's complete, what's started, and what's left to begin. Clicking a quest in the journal will display some more information on it. If you haven't started the quest, it will tell you where to begin and what requirements that you need. If the quest is in progress, it will remind you of what to do next. It's very easy to find a quest start point. Just look out for the quest icon on your minimap. You should see one marking this house, which you can see right here. This isn't the minimap, it's literally telling you what I just told you, which is that it's right there. The quests themselves can vary greatly from collecting beads to hunting down dragons. Completing quests will reward you with all sorts of things, such as new areas and better weapons. There's not a lot more I can tell you about questing. You have to experience the thrill of it yourself to fully understand. Let me know what you want to if you want to recap. Otherwise, you can move on. Now, I don't need a recap. I already know that. It is important. All of that information is important, and I think any of the information you get in the tutorial is important, especially for a new player. So we're going to move on down this ladder here, and we are going to start the next part of the tutorial. So it says down here you have unlocked a new music track, Escape Cave. Apparently it doesn't give you access to your soundtracks at the moment, but that's important for later. So we're going to run on over here once again following this little yellow arrow, and we're going to talk to the mining instructor. Says, hi there, you must be new around here, so what do I call you? Newcomer seems so impersonal, and if we're going to be working together, I'd rather call you by name. I said you can call me Crim of the Sea, which is my username. So, okay then, Crim of the Sea, my name is Drezik, and I am a miner by trade. Let's teach you how to mine. Mining is very simple. All you need is a pickaxe. The rocks around here contain tin and copper. Why don't you get started by mining some? If you're unsure which is which, you can prospect them to find out. And he's going to give you a bronze pickaxe. Now, once again, it's going to show up in your inventory because he just gave it to you. And I think that we can just go over here and mine it, right? You don't need to mine this particular rock. It's just the one that they, send you to. Once again, right clicking will give you a menu of things that you can do to interact with an item. So to prospect this particular rock, it's going to say, wait a moment, and it's going to tell you this rock contains tin. Very helpful. Anything in the game really has a right click option. I tend to use that right click option just because I think it's easier to know exactly what I'm clicking. I don't want to make a mistake or do something wrong. Um, so yeah, this one contains tin, and now it's going to tell you to come over here to mine some copper. Now once again, it's going to point you to this rock. You do not need to mine that rock, you just need to mine a rock. So we're going to mine this rock right here. And we got copper. So now we have tin and copper in our inventory. Once again, you can prospect it. It's going to say, wait a second, and then it's going to tell you there's some copper in it. Now we're going to move on over here to the furnace, and we are just going to click on it. It's going to make a bronze bar. Super, super simple. Now you can do this again if you really wanted to, right? So let's go and mine a piece of tin, mine a piece of copper, and smelt it. Just clicking on the smelter. Furnace, sorry. Now we have 2 bronze bars. Awesome, right? Let's talk to him again. I have a bronze bar, what now? Now that you have a bar, you can smith it into a weapon. To smith something, you need a hammer and an anvil. There's some anvils just here that you can use. See if you can make yourself a bronze dagger. He's actually going to give you a hammer, once again, popping up your inventory. Now we're going to left click this anvil. Now once again, you can right click it, but we're going to left click it. And it's going to give you a whole menu of things that you can smith. Now, if you'll notice, this one is white, meaning that we can smith it. Everything else is blacked out, which means that we don't have the maybe we don't have the smithing level, maybe we don't have the things that we need to make said things, but right now we have the bronze that we need to make this dagger, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And you know what, we're going to make 2 of them, because once again, we made 2 bronze bars, so we might as well. Oh, accidentally misclicked. If I had a nickel for every time. There we go. Now we have 2 daggers. So this part of the tutorial is now complete. You could choose to continue mining. You can mine another piece of tin, and it will actually give you experience. It shows right here. And you can actually get experience right now. Like it says, mining level is now 2. So before you even leave Tutorial Island, you can gain, I think, 3 in each stat before you leave. Which is helpful. But if you're, a newcomer, it's not really a big deal. They're just small levels. They're very easy to get out in the open world. So we're going to continue on to the next part of the tutorial, which will be combat. And we're going to come over here and talk to the combat instructor. And I open up with, "Hi, my name is Crim of the Sea." And the combat instructor says, "Does it look like I care? To me, you're just another newcomer who thinks they're ready to fight." Now it's funny, it's like complete opposite of the mining instructor. The mining instructor's like, "Hey, I want to call you by name." And you're like, "Hi, my name's Krim." And he's like, "Fuck you." Well, shit happens. He says, "I am Vanaka, the greatest swordsman alive, and I am here to teach you the basics of combat. Let's get started by teaching you to wield a weapon." Now, it actually kind of is funny. He really is one of like the coolest NPCs in this game because he uses a two-handed sword. That's what he's wielding right here as a weapon and a shield. Now, usually if you use a two-handed weapon, you can't use a shield, but he really does. He's like one of the only NPCs in the game who like has that ability, which is pretty cool, I think. Anyway, so now we have this blinking icon down here, worn equipment. And you're going to open it and it's going to show you all of the things that you can wear. You have a glove slot, boot slot, ring slot, helm slot, everything that you could possibly wear as a person. In this case, it's blinking the view equipment stats. Now, when you open this, it's going to show you your character, the way that you customized it, and all of those stats once again. Now, there's going to be bonuses for each item that you hold. So if you have a sword equipped, it's going to show you your attack bonus for that sword, and if there's any other stats that it's going to boost, or sometimes certain items will bring down some stats but up other stats. So that's important to keep in mind. But as long as we have that, it's all good. Um, We're not wearing anything. And the next step is to just equip your dagger, which you can left click or right click and wield, but left click. So now that we're holding the dagger, it wants us to talk to Vanaka again. This is very good, but that little butter knife isn't going to protect you much. Let's get you something a bit better. Once you are properly equipped, you can move on to some actual combat, and he's going to give you a bronze sword and a wooden shield. Once again, they're going to pop up in your inventory, so we're going to left click the bronze sword and left click the wooden shield, and we are ready to go kick some ass. But first, it's going to tell you about what your combat options are and what they do. Now, if you hover, each one is going to tell you what it gives you experience in, and there's three main melee stats. There's attack, strength, and defense. Each one doing something in particular, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. So in this case, I'm going to keep it on stab, and that's because if you go to your Warn interface where you were just at, it gives you a stab bonus of +4, a slash bonus of +3, and a crush of -2. And like I was saying before, certain items give you bonuses in some stats and negatives in other stats. In this case, this sword is a stab weapon. So you can slash with it, though it's not as good, and you cannot crush with it. Crushing being things like if you're wielding a hammer or something that's an actual crush weapon, it'll boost up that attack stat. Our defense bonuses are strictly coming from the shield. So everything you see right here in the defense section, if we take off the shield, is going to go away. But it's necessary. It's our best in slot right now, so we might as well use it. And we're going to go kill ourselves a rat. Look at them. Look at them. They're so cute. All right. So I'll walk in here. You can kill the one that the arrow is pointing to, but you can really kill any of them. Doesn't matter. And combat's pretty cut and dry in this game, it gets more intense as your levels go on, as you get better at the game. But right now, it's literally just you sit here and you attack this rat, and it attacks you back, and that's really it. And if you'll notice, we lost some HP, that's not a big deal. Now the arrow's going to point back to Vanako over here, and we're going to go talk to him. Say, I did it, I killed a rat. Says, I saw, you seem to be better than I thought. Now you have grasped basic swordplay, let's move on. Next up we have ranged attacking. With this you can kill foes from a distance. With range you'll be able to attack a rat without entering the pit, meaning they won't be able to fight back, which is awesome. This will be used a lot in normal gameplay against NPCs or monsters. Um, Against people, if you ever decide to do PvP, it's a little different. People aren't stupid, they know how to get past a gate. But in this case, we can wield our short bow and our arrows, once again left clicking both, and they'll pop up in our menu over here, and you can just pick one and attack it, right? We're shooting through the gate, and they can't get past this gate, so you know free, easy. We don't have to worry about our HP, which is currently at half, and we did in fact kill a rat, which is awesome. Now that is the end of this tutorial. It's pretty simple. There's nothing too difficult about it. If you'll notice that the arrow on our little mini map over here is pointing to the ladder, that's so we can go on to our next place. Now if you want to, you can stick around here. You can attack more rats through the gate. Oh no, they got rid of that. Okay. Well, it used to be you could get like 3 in each melee stat before you left. Obviously, you cannot do that anymore. But that's okay. We're just going to move on to the next part of the tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and go up this ladder, and we are actually almost done. Or I wouldn't say almost done. We're probably like halfway through this tutorial, which is pretty cool. It's not a very long one. I'm making this longer than it needs to be because I'm going in a little more in depth than I need to. But hey, you know what? I figure if you really are new to the game, then it probably is a good thing. So it's going to tell you to click on this bank, and it's going to show you what's inside your bank. Now, your bank is the most important tool you have to you as a RuneScape player. You can store anything you want in it. Literally anything. It could be food, weapons, tools, just anything can go in here. Um, Now, for the moment, I don't think it matters, but I'm just going to put my extra dagger in here because there's no reason why I would need 2 daggers. You can't dual wield daggers. You only get 1 weapon slot and 1 shield slot, so I don't have a use for this right now, so I'm just going to stick it in there. The next thing it's going to tell you is about the pull booth, which is actually something new-ish. But pull booths are found around pull booths are found in towns across the world. The old school RuneScape community is invited to vote on future game updates to decide whether or not the update should or shouldn't be released. Voting is open to members and skill total of 300. Skill total of 300 being like your total levels here. That's the equivalent of all of your skills added together, which obviously we're not very high skill total right now. But to preserve the old school character of this game, the update must gain 75% support to be released. So we'll get that. We'll get there one day. It gives you a little bit more. A flag appears on the booth to let you know when you're invited to vote in a poll. It's going to show you the poll history, which things passed, which things didn't, things like that. Not important. Let's continue on. Go through this here door, and we're going to talk to my favorite of the tutorial instructors, and he's such an on the cuff person, right? So it says, "Hello, who are you?" So I'm the account guide. I'm here to tell you about your account. So what's an account? It says your character is your account. It's what you are using to play the game right now. Everyone here has everyone here has one, and some people even have multiple, which I do, obviously. There's various things that you can do with your account, which is where the account management menu comes into play. Let's take a look at it now. Now you have this account management icon, blinking in the corner now, which you're just going to go ahead and click. This menu is not really important right now, and we're going to talk to him again. As you can see, there's a few things you can do with your account. First, you have your membership. All accounts are free to play by default, but if you desire, you can buy membership to unlock members worlds. These worlds give you access to extra skills, areas, quests, and more. What's a world? A world is what you play the game on. Each world can hold up to 2,000 players, and they are split into two main types: free worlds and members worlds. You can swap worlds with the world switcher in the logout menu. You are currently on a free world. If you want to switch to a members world and enjoy all of your benefits, you'll need to purchase membership. You can do so using the store in the account management menu. Bonds are another thing that you should know about. You can purchase bonds from the store in the account management menu. Once you have some bonds, you can redeem them for membership. Why would I use a bond instead of buying membership normally? Unlike membership, bonds can be traded with other players. You could purchase a bond and then sell it to another player for some gold. Alternatively, you could use your gold to buy a bond from other players. So if I used my gold to buy a bond from another player, I could get membership without spending any real money? Exactly. Next up, you have your inbox and name changer. The inbox is where you'll receive important information related to your account and the game. Be sure to keep your eye on it. The name changer allows you to change your display name if you don't like your current one. Be aware though that this is only available to accounts with membership. Finally, the bottom of the menu has some links which you might find useful. Make sure you check them out at some point. Awesome. Is there anything else that I should know about accounts? Only this. Your account is very valuable and is important you look after it. You have many tools at your disposal to help out with this, such as bank pins and authenticators. And these are for people in this game will try and hack your account, get into your account, take your stuff, take the whole account itself and use it as their own. So that's a big thing that Jagex, the creators of RuneScape, have gone through over the years, is making sure that your account is secure as possible. Because, like me, I've spent years on certain accounts, and if someone goes in and takes the whole account and you have no more access to it, well, that's 2 years of time that you spent on a game that you can no longer play. I mean, you can make a brand new account, but all of your achievements, all of the time that you sunk into it is gone, and that's a really crappy feeling, but, there's shitty people in the world. What can you do? Anyway, that's everything I have to tell you about accounts. Let me know if you need a recap. Otherwise, head on to your next instructor. And now we'll be moving on. Alright, so this is a pretty long video already, so I'm gonna try and, not ramble on too much, because, who likes long videos? You're probably gonna get bored 2 minutes through. But our next thing we're gonna do is talk about prayer, and we're gonna talk to Brother Brace? Brother Brace. Good day, brother. So, hello, I'm Brother Brace. I'm here to tell you all about prayer. Now it's going to give you access to your prayer menu. All of them do different things, but again, not important right now. We're going to talk to him again. He says this is your prayer list. Prayers can help you a lot in combat. Click on the prayer you wish to use to activate it and click it again to deactivate it. Activate prayers will drain your prayer points, which are right here. Um, which you can recharge by finding an altar or other holy spot and praying there. As you notice, most enemies will drop bones when defeated. Burying bones by clicking them in your inventory, you will gain prayer experience. I'm also the community officer around here, so it's my job to tell you about your friends and ignore list. Friends list. Let's talk. It's you can add people a multitude of ways. You can literally like this person Neve Bangs. You can just add to friends list and type in their name. I'm not going to because I don't want to add this person, but you could and you'll add them. Um, if you are talking in open chat, you can actually just right click someone's name and you can add them to your friends list. It's pretty simple. Same thing with your ignore list, which I'm gonna click past this. No, it doesn't give you access to your ignore list. That's interesting. Oh, okay. Ignore list. Same thing. So it's to toggle it, you just right click up here. And we're going to continue on. Now this is the final step. You have to talk to this here wizard man. You say hello. Good day, newcomer. My name is Tarova. I am here to tell you about magic. Let's start by opening your magic interface, which is right here. This blinking icon once again. And this is your magic interface. All of your spells are listed here. So we're going to talk to him again, and he says currently you can only cast one offensive spell called Windstrike. Let's try it out on one of those chickens, and he actually gives you runes, once again popping up in your inventory. Now, I wouldn't call this, a unique battle interface, but it is a unique system in RuneScape. Each game has a magic system, usually basing around mana, and how much mana you have is how much or how many spells that you can cast. Now, RuneScape's different in the fact that it uses these runes here. They pretty much hold the magic essence, and you use them upon casting a spell. So we're gonna cast this Wind Strike on the chicken, right-clicking again, and boom, kill a chicken. Now if we go back to our inventory, you'll notice that we only have 4 and 4 instead of 5 and 5. It used one of each rune to cast that spell, and actually tells you when you hover it that it's going to use one of the runes. It says you have 4 currently. It'll use one, and it says that for both of them, 4/1. One being the amount used, 4 being the total you have in your inventory right now. If you had more, it would pop up. That left number would show just however many runes you have in your inventory currently. So we're gonna go talk to him again. It says, well, we're all finished here now, and I'll give you a reasonable number of runes when you leave. Do you want to go to the mainland? Now this is the end of the tutorial. This is the last step. So as soon as you click yes, you are done with your account and your account is created. And that is the end of it. So we're going to go ahead and say yes. You said, were you planning on becoming an Iron Man? Now this section's here in case because some people will go to make an Iron Man and then forget to choose this option. You will not be an Iron Man because it's just a much more difficult version of the game, and I would not recommend it to a person who's just starting playing RuneScape. I'll say, no, I'm not planning to do that. If you were, you talk to this gentleman over here, and after you click that, he's going to say, when you get to the mainland, you'll find yourself in the town of Lumbridge. If you want some ideas on where to go to next, talk to my friend the Lumbridge Guide. You can't miss him. He's holding the big staff. A question mark? Oh, well, I think he's meaning the mini map. I didn't read that. Sorry. In the mini map, there will be a big question mark where he's standing. He also has a white beard and carries a rucksack full of scrolls. There are also many tutors willing to teach you about many skills you could learn. So once again, showing you what it'll look like on your mini map. He says, "Prepare yourself," and he teleports you on out of here. And boom, you are in the world of Gilianor. Now you have access to all of the stuff that you had through the tutorial. You have your dagger, the sword Vanaka gave you, the shield Vanaka gave you, the bow and the arrows, the axe from the Brianna, the fishing tutor. You have all of your stuff. And at this point, you could go anywhere and do anything. Everyone has different routes that they take, places they want to go, accounts they want to build, but realistically you have reign of access. You can go anywhere and do anything, and the map is huge, right? This little cursor is where we are right now. There's so many places that you can go. This is a members area, so you can't go there yet, but even just in free to play, you start in Lumbridge, but you want to go to Varrock, is a big place in the game. Falador is another big city in the game. um all of this you have access to and places that you could go. You have Al Kharid in the desert. But really it's up to you. After you get to this point, you decide what you want to do. You pick what skills you think are interesting that you did in the tutorial. If you liked fishing, you liked getting those shrimps and cooking them, then, we could go on over here and there's little places in the river that you can use to fish. Not right this moment, you need a higher fishing level, but just to show you there's skilling options everywhere. You have these fishing spots which people are fishing at right now. So you can fish them, take those fish, and you can go and cook them. Or let's say you really liked mining and prospecting the rocks, then you could go over to somewhere else and do that. But really, it's really up to you. You define your experience in this game, and I think that's one of the coolest things about RuneScape and MMOs in particular is like you don't have a track that you follow. It's not like a single player game where you're following a storyline. You make your own storyline. You decide what you're going to do and where you're going to go and what your next step is. And for some people that can suck because you're like, "Oh, well, I don't know what to do, so I wish the game would tell me." But realistically, I mean, the game kind of does tell you. If you really don't know what you want to do, you can go through these quests. And let's say you wanted to do Dragon Slayer, right? Which is the highest level free to play quest right now. It's going to tell you that you need to be able to defeat a level 83 dragon and gain 32 quest points. Well, to get quest points, you need to complete quests. So let's say you wanted to do a different one. You wanted to do Black Knight's Fortress. Well, Black Knight's Fortress tells you need to do 12 quest points, be able to defeat a level 33 knight, and you need to have a smithing level of 26. So there's a good starting point. You're like, okay, I need to get to my smithing level to 26. How am I going to do that? And you go and you mine and you smith bars and smith those bars into weapons until you hit level 26, and then you can go do that, which then gives you access to the quest points that you wanted. And it's back and forth and back and forth. So you really do decide what you want to do, and it's a lot of fun. And you make friends throughout the game who are going to say, "Oh, if you wanted to do this, why don't you do this? This would be fast, or this is a good idea." And the community in general is really, really friendly when it comes to what is your next step, and they're very, very helpful. And one of the things that I like to do is find a clan chat. What clan chat is, you oh, you need a skill total of 150. Okay, I did not know that. But either way, eventually when you hit skill total 150 through playing the game, you can enter a clan chat and say, "Hey, I am new to the game and I want to try doing blank." And they're gonna be like, "Oh, you want to do that? That's great. Well, here's some places that you can start." The people are very, very friendly and very helpful. Some of them aren't, and they're kind of cucks, but that's part of the game. Anyways, I rambled long enough now. This has been my guide for you. Love you, babe.